All right, so welcome back, guys. It's me, Ayomide again, your wonderful tutor that's been taking you on a journey. So sorry that we couldn't meet day before yesterday, and yesterday Adelami took you guys on visual design principles. I'm sure that it was an awesome time. So all right, so quickly, um we're going to be looking at interaction design. All right, so with the look of things, there are quite a number of things. So I'm trying to see how well I can skip some things, leave some things. Do you get? I really want to ensure that the time spent for this design boot camp, it's really worth it. Really worth it because there's quite a whole lot of things to be able to teach. All right. So and let's see how well we can be able to move fast in this um class tonight. So, all right, so what is interaction design? Interaction design focuses on creating meaningful and engaging interactions between users and digital products. So, what's this about? Let's read it again so that you guys can see it and hear it more often. So, it says that interaction design focuses on creating meaningful and engaging interactions between users and digital products. All right, so it's about the fact that its main focus it is ensuring that there is there is significant and there is meaningful interaction between users and the product that the user is actually engaging in. So you remember what we've been talking about since the day one is the fact that we are user centered minded. Do you get it now? So everything we're trying to do, we must ensure that the user have what a a good user experience. All right. So it is based on our user interface. Then we'll now be able to know if the user is going to have a user um a good user experience or a bad one. But fortunately, we seek for the what for the good one, right? So there are some key aspects in interaction designs which we must look into. So the first one is designing meaningful interaction. Designing meaningful interaction. So what does this really entails? It entails the interaction that align with users' goal and expectation. So with the basis of the fact that we've already learned that we take inventory about the users pain point, go through user surveys, interviews, and all of those things. So it is the accumulation of all of those things that we have, the user testing that we've you know conducted or conduct is that we're now able to ensure that the user have a good user experience. So it must align with what the user actually want. Do you get? Another thing we look at is use intuitive and familiar interaction patterns to enhance usability. So we must ensure that whatever we put, whatever element that we use in our design, it must be usable. It's not something that is going to be vague. It's not something that is going to be abstract. You must do something that the user can actually relate with. Do you get? Let's say you want to create something for about calling. You must ensure that you use things like icons to ensure that when a user sees icons, icons is actually iconography is actually another part in design that you might need to look into. Don't worry, the thing is it's just the basis I'm to teach you, right? So there are further things that you need to know, which I would really love to teach you guys personally for those that be willing. Do you get that would like me to teach them, personally advanced part of product design. Do you get it now? So there's a section of iconography, there's a section of typography, and many of those things like that. So you must ensure that whatever you are doing, it's balanced with the usability. So another thing is we provide clear feedback to users to indicate the outcome of their actions. All right. So back to where we are. Okay, so the second thing we're looking at under interaction design is responsive user interfaces. Responsive user interface. So this talks about design interfaces that adapt and respond to different devices and screen sizes. So let's say, for example, now you shouldn't just when you're designing, you shouldn't just consider someone that's using a smartphone alone. That's what I mean by mobile, right? You should also consider people that uses tablet, people that make use of, laptop, for example. Do you get? So you must ensure that whatever you are trying to create, it's very responsive. Let's say when it's being used on a system or on a mobile phone or on a tablet, it still remains still going to make a whole lot of sense. All right. So we're not into about the programming aspect. Do you get? Let's say you're a mobile developer now or app developer now, which I was sometimes ago. So I was making use of Flutter. All right. So Flutter happens to be a cross platform whereby if you are designing for mobile, Flutter helps you in the fact that as you are designing for mobile, you're also designing for you know um desktop view and also for tablet also. So it's very close. So do you get it now? So another thing is that prioritize responsive design techniques to ensure a consistent and enjoyable user experience across what various platforms. Very simple about that. So number three is usability and accessibility. So under this, we ensure ease of use and efficiency in completing tasks. So what this is about is that let's say a user wants to, you know, I think it was yesterday, I was having issue in logging in into my dollar account. Do you get it now? So I I wasn't too much happy about it because I kept inputting my password. It was giving me an error. So I decided that okay, let me click on forget PIN. So and I fulfilled all the tax and all of those things. And guess what? At the end of it all, it was telling me that uh, it was successful, but at the same time, it says something went wrong. Like, do you get that kind of message? It wrote it at the end successful and at the same time writing that something went wrong, which I was finding it difficult to understand that okay, who is at fault here? Is it me or is it their system? So I kept on trying it over and over and over again. I wasn't getting it right. So I decided to, email them, complain, give my complaints and all of those things. And then it was said to me that it's going to be taken care of. And I was like, okay, no problem. So the first person I said, okay. So I replied them back that I'll be expecting their feedback as soon as possible. And then someone from their customer care replied me back and gave me a series of something to do. And I was like, this is really, really stressful. And I didn't even bother. I just left the mail there. I didn't reply them. So and then I decided to try it back in the evening and then it worked. So I was like, so that means it must have been their system because the first message I get was the fact that is probably that they are having a whole lot of people trying to access their system at the same time, which is not supposed to be. So the user must find it easy to use. Do you get? So I was finding it difficult. So that alone can make me not to use their product anymore. So we must ensure as designers or as people that are product minded or doing something that has to do with digital products is that we must ensure that there is efficiency, there is ease of use in completing whatever the user wants to do. Let's say the user wants to pay money, there must be ease of it. The user must not be looking for a way to be able to send money or finding difficulty. So in user experience and user interface, we try to ensure that there is no longer difficulty in taxes. All right. So another thing is accessibility guidelines. Yeah, I learned that you know while I started my design journey, I had learned about it, but then I had forgotten about it at the same time. All right. So I joined for a design challenge. All right. So and then it was really stated there that we should follow accessibility guidelines. So I and my group we decided that okay, let's go and find out what they really mean by accessibility guidelines. So we went online, tried to check, and then Adelami, which is my partner, he found a document for us to be able to read, and then we read it all together, and then we really learned. So that's the beautiful thing about you know doing something for doing challenges, challenging yourself. They tend to stretch you beyond yourself, and then you see the beautiful thing about yourself that you did not even know about before. So and then we learned that okay, whenever you are designing, there is an organization that really caters for people that are with disabilities. And I was like, wow, didn't really know that. So whenever you are designing, you must consider people. You must consider the people that are blind. You- I'm sure you guys are aware of that. That people that are blind can still make use of digital devices. How? That means whatever they are going to be using is going to be there's going to be an audio version for them. So let's say there is an AI actually, or there is an application that can read whatever it's on a page. So let's say someone that is blind now wants to read that which I'm teaching you guys now. There is a way um the algorithm sees whatever is being written on whatever page that we have. So one of the very key thing is that whenever you are designing, ensure that the headline is in the middle. If you put it at the side, it will just read it as though it's the same thing. But then if you put it in the middle, when it gets there, the algorithm is going to stop. Count that as an heading. Do you get when you are reading and then you see a full stop? You what? You take a little breath. All right. So that's just how the algorithm sees it too. So that whoever is listening can be able to listen very, very well and understand that which they are listening to. So you must ensure that you keep that in mind whenever you are designing for anything. So the fourth one is principles of usability. Principles of usability. So apply usability principles such as simplicity, clarity, and efficiency in design. So remember from this point three that we talked about accessibility, one of the things that we also talk about there is how clear what you are designing is for. All right. So on my YouTube channel, there is a video that we released today that really shows about contrast. All right. There's a plugin on Figma that is called Contrast that helps designers to be able to check the things that is being done on a particular frame. All right. So it helps in that way. So if you have errors, it can be able to help you. I actually have one that can also help if you are on a website. It will actually tell you if the website is wrong. Like it will tell you the errors that the um the website actually have. If it's typographical error, if it is you know i- if it is color or contrast issue now, it's going to say all of those things. All right, so that's just that about that. So another thing is minimize cognitive load by reducing unnecessary steps and providing clear instruction. Yes, whenever you are writing any instructions on a product, you must ensure that that which you are doing is clear and concise. Don't put too much of stories. Let's say something is successful, just write it successful and done. Put a tick or an icon there to show that it is done. Not like you're trying to give a whole lot of grammar there. The funny thing is if there is a whole lot of grammar there, the user is not going to look at it. He's not going to read it. Just read the first thing and then get out there. Do you get it now? So you must ensure that it is clear and concise, right? I've seen that happen with this network provider MTN. They do that a lot. They don't give too much of stories. All right. So conduct usability testing to identify and address usability issues. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. So in the sense of these people that are disabled in one way or the other. All right. So Moving on to, so let's go do a quick recap as usual. So under interaction design, we look at what designing meaningful interaction, responsive user interface, and usability and accessibility. And then the fourth one is what principles of usability. All right. So number 8 point that we'll be looking at is prototyping and testing. Remember we talked about prototyping before and then we talked about testing, but then let's look a little bit deep into it. So under prototyping and testing, there are essential steps in UI UX design process to validate design ideas and gather user feedback. Do you see it now? So what you've designed, all of your design processes and all of the things that you've practiced, that you've put into work, you are trying to ensure that you are testing it before you put it live or you put it on the marketplace. All right, you need to test it. You need to test it. Else you keep having the same errors over and over and over again. So what is prototyping? So under prototyping, we create prototypes that simulate the functionality and interaction of the final product. So prototyping is just you are trying to see how to show the processes, to show the functionalities of how the product should work. Let's say for example now for this product project I'm actually working on, I I think I've done some number of animations there just to show to the developer, right, that this is how I want the project to actually look like. Not like I'm trying to design for myself, but then I must show that okay, this is how it's going to look like, so that whoever is going to work on you know the development of it can know how he or she can work it out. So another thing is start with low fidelity wireframes to quickly iterate and refine design concepts. Remember I talked about wireframes, right? Yes. So those are low fidelity. So I told you the other time it's called LOFI, LOI-FI, which is just it also involves paper sketching, trying to show okay how the design product is going to look like, and and what have you like that, just to ensure that there is no mistake, and then there is progress. All right, so gradually move to high fidelity, which is also called HiFi, that's HI-FI, prototypes that closely resemble the final product. So the high fidelity prototype is the last place before you get to testing part. So you are trying to look at it. So now you've been able to put your colors and and what have you. The original way is going to look like, not like black and white or gray and black and white that wireframe is going to look like. All right. So nobody would like to get something that is black and gray and the likes like that. Do you get it now? So we must ensure that we keep tabs with all of these things at hand. All right. So number two is that types of what prototypes. So number one is what wireframe. Very good, wireframe. So under wireframe is basic visual representations of the interface layout and content structures. All right, so it's just going to have you're just trying to just show let me see if I can show you a picture of wireframe. I think I have one. So I was trying to show you that that there was an example of what wireframe looks like. So this image here at the right hand side, it's actually a wireframe. It's a wireframe, right? It's just known as like it's like the block. Wireframe really helps you many of the times, or sometimes it might not really look like the exact you know um design layout that you are looking for, but then it's a sketch of it. So I once learned from the top designer that you should have like two different examples of a particular screen you're trying to create for. you know then the two that you have, try to like implement, or probably just later pick the whole full one and then just make use of it. Do you get? So it's all work that way. It all varies and the likes like that. So it depends. It depends. But sometimes I just basically just use one that I've drawn because of time. You know, we are all working with time and all of those things. So It's very essential we maximize time very well. So under the prototype, another one we have is mockups. Mockups are detailed static designs that closely resemble the final product. Yes, it's not yet the final one, but then it's a preview of the final. All right. So let's say you are designing for a mobile, you are designing an interface for a mobile, all right? And you know you are looking for a perfect way to ensure that okay what you are designing for is the perfect match. So one of the ways we get that done is by we trying it on a mock-up of that which we designed for. Let's say you are designing for a mobile view now, you must know what frame you are using for. Is it for an Android phone or for an iPhone now, do you get? So because the two of them um resolutions are different, so you must, or what I mean by that is the sizes, the length, the width of it, both are different, right? Because they are different type of Android, and at the same time there are different iPhones, all right? So it varies. So it depends on that which you are creating for. So whatever you are creating for, you must ensure that it perfectly fits it. So you are going to know that okay, if the design I'm working with now, the frame I'm making use of is iPhone 14. So you must ensure that um the height and the width that you are using must be balanced or must be equals to the original size of iPhone 14. So and the likes are then when you're done, you try it there and you see how it looks like. Hence, if you don't try making use of a mock-up, you will find out that what you are designing doesn't perfectly fit into that which you are doing. So it's very important to know you try that. So another thing on that prototype is interactive. So those are the types. So it is interactive prototypes. So functional prototypes that allow users to interact with the interface and experience is usability, just for you to, feel, have the texture and all of those things and what have you there. Another thing we're looking at under prototyping and testing is usability testing. Remember that, right? Yes. So usability testing. So under usability testing, you conduct usability tests to evaluate the effectiveness and user friendliness of the prototype, based on the things that the users have told us that we want. Oh, this is what I do like, this is what I like. Do you get? You have been able to perfect the pinpoint, ensure that it's all perfect. So you must ensure that it all done. So another thing is observe users as they react to the prototypes and gather feedback on the experience. So you must ensure that everything they complain is well set and solved. So identify areas of improvement and iterate on the design based on user insight. So check the designs over and over and over again. So number four is iteration and refinement. So use the feedback collected during testing to make iterative improvement to the design, address usability issues, enhance the user experience, and refine the interface based on user feedback. So all of this is very much needed in your design to ensure that everything is perfect. There's improvement. You must address the usability issues. You must. It's a must. It's a must. Hence, whatever you are designing for is going to be full of failures and errors, which you don't like. Nobody like errors, all right? So the another thing you need to do under this is that repeat the prototyping and testing process as necessary to continually improve the design. This is one key thing I've always practiced many times. After I've done everything, I try to test it again and again and again and again to ensure that what I have done is perfect. All right. So you must ensure that there is perfection in the designs that you do. All right. Yes, all of us are learning, but then you must ensure that aspect. So interaction and collaboration. So let me just rush this a little. So iteration and collaboration are integral to the UI UX design process, fostering continuous improvement and ensuring a cohesive design approach. So it's a joint thing, you know. It's when you hear collaboration, it's a coming together of the stakeholders, the developers, the designers, and then all are collaborating, ensuring that there is improvement on the design on the products that you guys are working on. So iterative design embrace an iterative design process that involves repeating cycles of design, feedback, and refinement. You keep gathering information from your users, from your stakeholders, from even your team members to drive design improvement. You must follow all of these things because every of your iteration that you are following is based on user insights, is also based on usability testing results, and evolving project requirements. All of these things are things you need to attention to. Pay attention to the reviews, to the feedbacks that the user give from even this, the board, the board. I mean, the whole team, the whole organization members. Let's say the senior staffs that you guys are always having meeting with. So it's always necessary. If you are not always having meetings together, there's obviously and definitely going to be a flop, right? So another thing is, you must ensure that you are documenting whatever you are doing so that others can be able to follow through, and even you yourself is going to be a way to be able to track your changes, track your progress, effectively. So quickly, usability and user testing. So usability now. Usability is a crucial aspect of UI UX design, ensuring that products are easy to use, efficient, and provide a satisfying user experience. Let me take that again. Usability is a crucial aspect of UI UX design, mhm, ensuring that products are easy to use, efficient, and provide a satisfying user experience. So user testing plays a vital role in evaluating and improving usability. You must, because it really really helps the organization, you know, and the likes like that. Do you get it now? So it's very, very much important. So importance of usability is that it focuses on what very key thing is this first point is that it focuses on ease of use and effectiveness of a product in achieving user goals. That's one of the very key thing importance of usability. It's for the betterment and for the user to have what a good user experience with the product that we are creating for. Don't get tired about the fact that while learning about usability, user testing, don't get tired about it. Do you get it now? Don't get tired about it. If you don't know all of these things, you'll just be designing something that is not making sense. Are you getting it now? You keep making designs that are not going to make sense for you. You keep making designs that you yourself, by the time someone else sees you and are you sure you designed this thing for a user? Abi, you just design it. Alright, so you must ensure that there is usable interface that enhances, user satisfaction, reduces errors. Not like there will not be errors. Just like I said the other time, you must ensure that there is perfection. There is perfection. You must ensure that you must keep striving, never stop striving for what perfection, never stop. All of us are learning, all right. Sometimes I can do a design now, very perfect in my eyes. By the time I give it to a colleague of mine might be like, see this error, you didn't see it. And I'm like, really? I didn't pay attention to it. You see it now. So that's a place for me to learn. All right. Just like I told you that in the beginning of the class, that you must have a teachable heart. You must have a teachable heart. All right. So another thing under usability is conducting usability testing. You know that, okay? You must ensure that whatever you're gathering feedbacks on, the good, the bad, the terrible feedbacks that your users, they are encountering, the overall user experience you are gathering it, right? Don't just like the good things about your product, and try to find out that at this sure there is no issue. Do you get? Debugging is never ending. All right, bro. No, developers are always debugging, always debugging. There is always bug to debug. All right. So another thing is, iterating based on user feedback. What the data that you'll be able to gather, the insight that you'll be able to gather, you ensure that you are solving the problem. All right. So another is, data driven design decision. So the reason why you not be like, okay, the reason why I did this is because the user complained that, okay, because the button was on the left hand side, they couldn't see it, so I decided to move it to the right hand side. Do you get all those kind of things? So every move you are making is because of the user, not because of yourself. Are you getting it now? So designing for accessibility, remember when we discussed about that you must ensure that you are designing for people that have disabilities. Do you get? So like I said the other time, that there is an organization, or there is a guideline that you actually need to follow through. So under here, you see, I said follow established accessibility guidelines such as WCAG, that is Web Content Accessibility Guidelines. You must ensure that you follow through this. There is a guideline for you to follow through. Do you get the contrast, the access, the images, how you are placing it? Do you get? So that anyone that has one disability or the other can still be able to benefit. So that means you don't just design for someone that is complete alone. You must always take that in into mind. So another thing is accessibility technologies. So I said understand common assistive technologies such as screen readers, magnifier, and alternative input devices. So I said ensure the interface is compatible with. You see that this was what I was talking about the other time, that if you are designing for something, let it be that when you know the a technology is trying the an AI is trying to read what you've designed for, it must be that even the AI understands what you have there, so that it's not like the AI just reading everything, brrr, bam, no comma, no full stop, no all of those things there. Do you get it now? So another thing is user empathy. You must always ensure that you put yourself in the shoe of anyone that you are trying to deserve. Okay, if I'm blind, okay, if I'm deaf, how will I be able to? Okay, you consider all of those ways. Else, right? Else, I think I can't really remember now. The number of people that are disabled, they are of great numbers, that has one issue or the other. In fact, there are some people that they have hearing issues. So that means it's only what you design they can see. So imagine someone like that now, and then your design is not catchy and all of those things. You see, you are losing to those people now. So it means they will have to look for a way to to benefit from you, or they don't benefit from you. So you must keep you need to keep you know um you need to keep learning, because the design field is a very dynamic field. It keep evolving. There is new things here and there. You must for some I can't really imagine if every application doesn't do it for dark mode. Really, I really need to praise whoever brought up the idea of dark mode. Really, I'm someone that really love dark modes. Yeah, I like it. I just probably it's because of my eyes. Probably because of my eyes. Yes, I have small eyes. Okay, so I'm always using dark mode on my phone, on my system, everything, every gadget I get, I ensure that I'm using dark mode. All right, so all of those things I always do. So you must always consider, okay, what about someone that like someone like me, someone that doesn't I know of someone that doesn't like dark mode. And I'm like, how don't you like dark mode? And he's like, no, he doesn't like it. How is everything with dark? I'm like, okay. So do you get it now? So all of us have different things. All of us are different. All right. All fingers are not equal. Right. So another thing is micro interactions. I'm sure you guys are learning superbly, awesomely. All right. So micro interactions are subtle animations or visual, feedback that provide delightful and engaging user experience. Incorporate micro interactions to add personalities and enhance usability in your designs. Yeah. So all of these micro interactions are just things like hovering. Let's say when you come to see something now, see I hover on it, it shows something. So when you get to some website, when you hover on a button, it changes colors. Some websites. So not all websites have hovering effect. Do you get that? So all of those things is just to show that okay, that button can perform an action. Do you get now? So another thing is voice user interfaces. So voice user interfaces allow users to interact with digital products using what voice command. So designed for you see now, this is all I've been trying to say. All I've been trying to say since under accessibility guidelines now. So you must consider conversational flows, you see, and natural language. You must never forget that. Another thing is augmented reality, AR and virtual reality. AR and VR technologies create immersive and interactive experiences. So explore, just explore, keep exploring the gaming world, the e-commerce, the things that now people try to just put in, there is this thing I've forgotten the name, and they put it on their face and then it's graphics, it kind of changes the environment where they are and then puts them as though they are, let's say what the person is seeing is a movie or a game that is an action game. Tries to give the person, okay, let's just say something like, let's say Call of Duty, for example, and then all of those things. So the person keep thinking he's inside of the game, whereas he's on the surface of the earth. So you just be misbehaving here. Why there he or she thinks that is doing the right thing. So he can be doing like running in the game, like I want to shoot this person. Whereas on why the person is still here, the person let's say the person is trying to is trying to cross over the fence and really thinks that in the game, probably in the game, the person is trying to just jump into a room there. It can be very, very funny, alright. It can be very funny. So another thing is artificial intelligence. So AI powered features such as personalized recommendation and chatbots are becoming increasingly common. Really, I can tell you for sure that AIs are just superb nowadays. Superb. A lot of things, a lot of innovations. People are building things. People are building things. People are building things. Really, people are building. So the thing is, if you sleep, you lose. At a point in my design career, I felt like, wait, can't we just stop here? Like, is there no checkpoint? Have we not got to the checkpoint for us to stop? And then I'm like, if I stop now, I will lose. Because what if I get a client and he or she wants me to be able to do so, this or that design for him or her, and I'm like, I don't know it though. Why? Because I did not step up my game. So you must, as the design field is expanding, you too must keep expanding. By that way, you can be able to even compete with even others there. So if you sit down on just one spot, you find out that you'll be losing. You'll be losing. Except you don't want to learn and you don't want to earn more money. All right. So there are design systems, and all of those things. So conclusion. So UI UX design plays a crucial role in creating engaging and user-centric digital product. Throughout this presentation, we have explored the fundamentals of UI UX design, the process and key principles to what? To consider. I'm sure you know that, right? Good. So remember that UI, that's user interface, design focuses on the visual. So this is a recap of the definition of what UI means. So in case you've forgotten, so this is what UI means now. UI means what? Design interface. So user interface design focuses on what the visual what and interactive element, while user experience is what aims to create seamless and enjoyable experiences for what? For users. Do you get that now? So user research, prototyping, testing, and what? Iteration are essential steps in the design process to ensure successful outcomes. So all of these processes, all of these things, if you put them into practice, you will find out that you are going your the kind of product you are going to generate for your company that you'll be working with in few months time is going to be very, very awesome. Very, very awesome. So collaboration, empathy, and user-centered mindset are key attributes of a user of a UI UX designer. So you must follow through all of this. You must be able to collaborate. You must be able to rub minds with your fellow colleagues. All right. So another thing is stay updated with the industry trends, emerging technologies, and accessibility guidelines to deliver cutting edge inclusive design, just like I have said earlier. So continue learning, keep practicing, and feedback are very vital for your growth. Really, feedback. If you are not growing as a designer, you are not doing yourself any good. Any. All right. So guess what? We've come to the end of the introduction to design. It's a very long journey. I really need to appreciate you guys for staying thus far. You know, you keep learning. Now you understand really what UI UX design is all about. You see now that it's the much more than the creating of the elements now. It's there are a whole lot of things you have to do before even you get started on your designs. So in the next class, we're going to be looking at, you know, um, we're going to be looking at introduction to Figma. I know you guys are super excited. I know that's the part you guys really want to get into. So I'm going to see you soon on that. So do want to come early, listen, and attentively. Get your laptops ready, and I'm going to guide you into the step by step and show you some few basics about what Figma is, what Figma does, what Figma can do, and probably tell you the few limitations about or few limitations that Figma can the limitations of Figma. That's what I mean by that. All right. So that's very awesome. So I really need to congratulate you guys. Congratulate you. So if you have any further questions or you would like me to or you like to explore the UI UX field the more, please feel free to always reach out to me. You can reach out to me in my inbox. So I actually have a YouTube channel. Yes, I do. I do. I do. I do. I do. I do. So on my YouTube channel, I design and show the processes and everything that seems difficult. So and what have you, what have you. So that's how glorious these things can be. So my my say to all of you is that stay inspired, keep learning, and embrace the exciting opportunities in the field of UI UX design. So keep learning. So do want to subscribe to my YouTube channel at Kairos Designers. All right. So just go there, you can see it. And if you want to reach out to me personally on my social media platform, on Instagram, my name is AYRGD. AYRGD. So the spelling is HAY, right? WHIRE and GD. I don't know what just GD stands for. GD actually stands for graphic designer. So AYR graphic designer. So that's just what it is. So thank you for paying attention. Thank you for not allowing the time to waste. Thank you for joining One Project 2023. You know, design class. It's super awesome. I'm sure the next time one project comes up again, are you going to refer your friends? Really do. So thank you and have a blissful and awesome and techful and learnful and inspiring days ahead of you. Thank you. See you soon. Bye bye.